Good. Friday, Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving in the U.S. Too much turkey.
All
All the
that,
things, all of it. Too
all
many
of it.
for me. Too many desserts. Way too many desserts. How about you?
In my case, it's a day like any other, except that you guys are not bothering me. When I say you guys, I mean
The people
you who
from the
are west
United
of
States
me.
of
West of
America.
me.
Yes.
West. If you're west from me, then it's you guys.
Hi, by the way. My name is Darren. This over here is Victor, and we are the co-host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. And on Fridays, yes, even including the day after Thanksgiving, we do this live stream. I was thinking ahead, though. This year, the Friday before Christmas is actually Christmas Eve. We might skip that day. That might be a day we skip.
We might.
And we might not. Who knows? But anyway, today we're talking about all things DevOps, which is a thing that doesn't actually exist. Did I say
What
that
is
out loud? What is DevOps? I don't know. We did a podcast about that, didn't we? Almost 2.5 years ago. I think that was the very first one that we did. By the way, if you have your drink, grab your drink. And, we have people live with us. This is wonderful. There's Vladislav showing up on a Friday. Thank you for showing up, Vladislav.
Because it's a normal day over there. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Can you say that name for me? Because I don't want to...
Oh, it's easy. Vladislav.
No, not Vladislav. That one I can say. It's the one I have up right now.
I can guess. Ovidio.
Okay.
Ovidio.
Thank you for
I
joining
have no
us.
idea.
Can we just call you O? Is that okay? Is that being too forward? Sorry about that. But yeah, grab your drink. Let's go through some of the news of the week. This is funny that we're talking about this. The true cost of open source.
What is open
Ovi.
source?
Okay, here, wait. We have the answer. Ovi. So Ovi, thank you. Thank you. Because words are hard. The true cost of open source. What is the true cost of open source? We attempt to answer it. I don't think anybody has the answer, though.
You're just ruining the possibilities of people listening to the podcast if you say there is no answer to the topic of the podcast, right?
Is there an answer to anything?
Of course.
There's always answers. Is it the correct answer?
It's 21.
By the way, never mind. I'm not going to talk about that. But what do we say here? Oh, this was actually a question from Quran. And again, if I messed it up, I ask for forgiveness. How do you make a case to your organization to embrace open source? This was the basics, or our take on this was, do companies actually have software that is completely proprietary?
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Yes. It hardly ever existed.
I agree with too. Oh, I thought you were going to go off on a ramble there, so I gave you the screen.
No. I'm in short sentences now. That's a text-giving mode.
You're okay. But just because something is open source doesn't mean it doesn't come from a vendor supported. We talked about this Red Hat. They built their business on that.
I would actually say that almost every widely used open source project has enterprise version of it.
Yes.
Almost every. We can go on forever. Terraform, enterprise. Ansible, enterprise. Kubernetes, again, enterprise. Almost every project. Even Argo, for example. Argo was one of the few that didn't have enterprise something, and that changed as well.
So it just depends on what you mean by embrace. And embrace means I'm just going to run open source without vendor support. If I'm in an enterprise, there's no way I would do that. That's too high risk. Right?
For bigger organizations, the amount of money that they need to pay for the peace of mind, either through support or some security features or whatever, it's not really that big compared to the potential risks. And the overhead, actually, in doing all the things themselves.
If you have plenty of people laying around, then it's probably worth it. But if you don't have enough people laying around, you know,
Yeah, it's not only plenty of people laying around. It's whether you, to begin with, whether you have people who can do those things. You know, kind of, do you have people like are you kind of Netflix-like company, right? That you really, when something goes wrong with open source, are you the person who is going to patch, let's say Kubernetes? Are you going to, do you have people who are going to submit a PR to Kubernetes open source to fix it? If you don't have those people, then there are companies who do, and then you pay the money. It's as easy as that.
yeah, I agree with that. BitMonkey, hola, ¿cómo está? That's as far as it goes for me. Jivaden, good to see you on Friday as well. Wow. All right. So I think that's enough to talk about the podcast. We've seen some recent funding, and I saw one that came in yesterday. And I sort of scratched my head, but not really. Before we get into this, James, good to see you. What have you missed? You missed us rambling about this week's podcast. Do you want to go over it again for James? Do we just go ahead and...
You can watch it later.
Oh, okay, that's true. You could go ahead and rewind and watch now. Doesn't that always bug you, though, when somebody shows up to a meeting late? And it's like, hey, sorry I'm late. Can you get me caught up?
Okay. I know that I cannot swear in the podcast. Can I swear here?
I'm not going to stop you.
Okay, I shouldn't probably. Okay.
Here,
I was
wait.
about to give you the answer.
No.
But...
Go ahead. Go ahead and give the full answer.
Yeah.
You have the floor.
Yeah, wait. How do they say it in Battlestar Galactica? Yeah, frack off. Frack off. That's not officially swearing, right?
You're fine with that, yes. Maz, good to see you. James, we're poking fun at you. Thank you for showing up. Render raised a 20 million A round. Have you done, I can't remember, you did Fly, but I don't think you did Render yet. A video for Render.
Not yet.
It's interesting.
20 million Service A, man, that's a figure. Whew.
That's measurable. That's not a 3 million A, right? That's usually what you see is the 3 to 10. To see a 20A is interesting.
You know, from what I've seen, I think that in general, the amount of money going into series, whichever series you want, I think that it's going up. It seems that people who have money to fund companies are giving more than ever.
It's inflation, right? Inflation's even hitting the VCs. I mean, if toilet paper is going up 25%, right? In the States, I mean, the inflation is, it's bad, but it's not as bad as the 70s, even though the numbers say it is. And I'm not going to freak out if I have to pay an extra quarter for something that used to cost $1. Except we have dollar stores. The actual name of the store is Dollar General. Dollar General. There's also a Dollar Tree. And all of them now, the minimum price now, starting in January for, I can't remember which one is changing this week, was $1.25.
Okay, then you're the same. Like we have Euro stores, which is basically $1.25. There you go.
Yeah. But anyway, 20 million series round. They had 7 million before. And they're also announcing free plans. I wouldn't have expected that with an A, but it's not bad. Free plans for web services and Postgres. And then they go through the rest of the story.
That's the thing about receiving VC money, right? When you get this amount of money, you can focus on adoption and the product itself instead of focusing primarily on earning money.
Yeah. So this is very interesting. Some of the things that they're planning to ship is, I'll just leave it here because it's easier to see. More regions, manage Redis, REST API, object storage, and DDoS protection. DDoS protection, I think, is becoming critical. It's always been critical, but I think it's table stakes now.
Yeah, it's it was always critical. It was always table stakes. Some were not aware of it, but I think that now it's kind of now this is part of the service. We are entering into that age. It's not anymore. It's critical. Figure out what to do. No, it's just kind of it's part of a service.
Yeah, and I'm wanting to look here at the free plans. So free plans for web services and managed Postgres. News plans complement our existing free plan for static sites. So they've had static sites, much like Netlify, much like Cloudflare. Cloudflare, did they have free pages? I think they did.
Yeah.
But paying $7 a month, who are they poking at right there? For each project can quickly get expensive, and free plans solve the problem. So now you can set up a static site, API, and database on Render, all for free. Okay, so this is obviously poking now because Cloudflare also has been announcing stuff left and right the past few weeks. So I think until, Cloudflare sort of fired, we'll talk more about this later, but Cloudflare said they're going to basically make egress free. It's going to be interesting to see how some of these others are going to be able to manage that. Like truly free.
And there is a limit to how far you can go because most of those services are not running on their own hardware, so they have to pay whatever they have to pay to AWS, Azure, Google, wherever they're running, right? So
yeah,
you cannot go. I mean, you cannot go to zero, right? Really,
yeah.
Because you do have to pay somebody, unless you get 20 millions in Series A. That is good.
Yeah, Vladislav calls it out. They're now focused on earning more money. We'll let our resident C-level tell us how this really works. This is not real surprising. And is this a Firebase competitor? I don't know that so much it's a Firebase competitor as it is more of a Heroku competitor.
Yeah.
Right? It's more Heroku than anything else.
Easy way to run applications somewhere without thinking much about them.
Yeah. So congratulations to the people. This is not Taco Bell money. This is Chipotle money. Or it's just one level above, or maybe two levels, depending on how you rate those two. But 20 million, that's a pretty good bump. Yeah, and this is a good point. It's Elastic Beanstalk with more features. I don't even think it's Elastic Beanstalk with more features. I think this is more Heroku because Beanstalk gets to be a little interesting over time. And since today is Black Friday, this is a post that I found the other day. For developers. So if you have spare money that's just burning a hole in your pocket, here are some items that are showing cheap. Now, this bottom one here, or next to bottom, Udemy Black Friday deals up to 85% off. Look, our courses are on Udemy. If you haven't bought it yet, at potentially 85% off, I haven't even looked at the courses to see how they've changed the price. That's the wonderful thing about Udemy and the horrible thing about Udemy. They control all the pricing.
Exactly.
But with that trade-off comes, we don't have to deal with VAT or taxes or anything else. So,
but the major difference for Udemy now that it is Black Friday is that they are doing heavy marketing around it. Otherwise, Udemy is in a permanent state of discount. You just need to find out where the discount is. But they're always discounting stuff. And then big time, not kind of like 5%.
Yeah, most of the time it's, $9.99 or something US or something. And James, thanks for buying all three of them the other day. We greatly appreciate that. Also, Udemy just went public last week before last as well. So
yeah, did you get an email from them?
I did.
About asking, buying their shares?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, they sent to all creators emails. Hey, you can buy our shares before it goes public.
I totally missed that. I probably just deleted it one day.
I just happen not to have money to throw away.
If you had money to throw away, wouldn't you rather spend it on cryptocurrency than... Sorry, I didn't say that out loud.
I would. If I would have extra money, I would invest it, but I would invest it in something around software that I'm familiar with, right?
Yeah. Yeah, as Ovi says here, every Friday is Black Friday. At Udemy, yes, that's true. Every day that ends in DAY is Black Friday at Udemy. if you know where to look. But yeah, there are a lot of deals going on between now and Monday, so keep your eyes open in case you're looking for something, whatever that something might be. I saw this come in earlier, probably about 2 hours ago. Introducing the Kyverno certification. I was scratching my head on this one. Not in a bad way, just...
I'm scratching in a bad way.
Well, okay.
I love Kyverno. I love the
Yeah.
folks in Kyverno. We know them and stuff like that. But certification, really, kind of like, am I going to go to a job interview and say I'm certified Kyverno something? I mean, as a learning thing, I think it's great. Kind of having courses and things like that. I think it's fantastic. I just don't like the word certification. If you want to get certified, go for AWS, Azure, something like that.
And if you already have those, then okay, adding this on is fine. I mean, if you're into certifications, I saw this image today. I don't remember, it was probably on LinkedIn. And it was basically one of these meme images. It was a little kid in a very oversized, like down jacket, right? It's like think of it like a 7 foot person's big jacket on this little kid that might be all of 3 feet. And the words around it were, certification was the big jacket, but the kid was experience. So it's like, okay. Now, I'm in general anti-certifications. But if you're going to have a certification, and it's my opinion, not my belief, but my opinion, that there needs to be at least some critical mass around it first before providing it. And I don't think Kyverno's there yet. Now, having it early, if they already had it ready to go, great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but...
Yeah, just call it training.
Well, and maybe this is also them sort of laying the groundwork. This came out on Black Friday, right? So this is late, they were thinking maybe this is just going to go under the radar and it'll come out a little bit later. They don't know us very well. Or maybe they do. So I'm okay with it, no problem. But it's just like, And after dealing with, I'm going to say it that way at the moment, dealing with OPA versus Kyverno for some things, I do like Kyverno. I will say that.
Oh yeah, if it fits your needs, it's better than OPA.
Yes,
no doubt. But if it fits your needs, now you might have, especially if you go outside of Kubernetes, you might need OPA for other stuff or some complicated stuff that did not reach yet Kyverno and stuff like that. But if Kyverno fits your needs, and it's increasing, right? The amount of libraries is increasing, so go for it if it does the job.
Yep. So if you're using Kyverno already day to day, why not get the certification? But this would not be like one of the certifications. If I was going to get a certification, I don't have any. This would not be my first one. AWS, Google, any of the big hyperscalers, those are going to be the ones I would go after first. But that's just what that is. Okay. Lens did a release yesterday. Talk about trying to be under the radar. New Lens 5.3. Again, Lens Kubernetes Console. I call it desktop app, whatever you want to call it. What is the right way to say that? You're muted if you're talking, so...
I wasn't talking about...
Oh, okay, good. You're about this big on my screen, so I can't see you at all.
Your screen.
Don't get me started. But I do have a new faucet in my kitchen sink and a new garbage disposal. That was Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday to me. Managed dev clusters. Managed dev clusters. So now you can run your own Kubernetes development cluster directly from Lens.
So it's actually Linspaces, I'm guessing. I haven't tried it yet.
Linspaces.
As a separate service, which you can access probably through Lens Desktop.
Correct. So if you give me just a second, I'm going to share my screen. Huh?
I'll give you 5.
I don't need that much. I just need that. And the question is, can I do that? Nope, I can't. Oh, come on, peoples. Look what I can zoom in and out. I can zoom the ad in and out, but I can't actually...
You need to click somewhere else on the screen.
Okay, anyway. So what you would do... This is like really just... There we go. Let's do that. That's probably okay. You click on clusters. Are you ready for this?
Show me. Show it to me, baby.
Have you... No, because this is what happens. Because if you read the rest of the release notes, this is what happens. So you click on My Dev Cluster. So this already exists. This is Linspaces, which you said, right? My Dev Cluster. Come on. First thing you have to do is set up a billing account. First thing.
The world is not easy to live in.
No. See, here's my problem. Here's my problem with this. Start for free. If I would not have read the full post, knowing what I was getting into, I would have really been ticked off. Start for free. When I see start for free, I don't think about having to create a billing account first and adding a credit card first.
You know, the goal is not to have friction with you once those 40 hours expire.
Oh, I know. As somebody that runs these things, I get it. It really bugs me. Now, I'm sort of whining a little bit, so I can create billing account. And it takes me off to another screen. Oh, this is interesting. Are you ready for this? I had not seen this. Check this out. So $0, and you have to fill in all your stuff here. And they're using Recurly. That's fine. Can you see what's up here in the tab?
I don't know. Okay,
Look,
subdomain of Recurly, right?
Yes, K8 lens, that's fine. Look at the line above that.
Personal space? I'm not sure what
Next.
you're trying to show me.
I'm trying to show you Mirantis.
Yeah, but Mirantis, that's lens is Mirantis forever, right? Or am I wrong now?
Well, that's the question. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was.
It's a product from, or maybe I'm kind of like, I know that it's Mirantis for sure. I thought it was Mirantis forever. Maybe I'm wrong on that part, and it's actually a recent purchase.
Okay, so maybe I'm wrong too. So all of this great wailing and gnashing of teeth may be just complete show for you right now. But create a billing account, all the other stuff. So, but what's funny to me, and we'll close this out because I'm not going to do it right now. What's funny to me is, oh, come on. There we go. You get 2 vCPUs and 8 gig of RAM running 121. Okay, that's not bad. Provisioning will take a couple of minutes. That's normal. That's okay. But if I've got a spare 8 gig of RAM on my machine, which I don't, I'm probably going to go with your stack with Rancher Desktop, because then I can pick the version of Kubernetes that I want. Right?
Yeah, if you have memory CPU to spare, go with that. And then there is a third option, kind of like just go create yourself a real cluster, one of the cheap ones, like Civo. Yeah. Now, I haven't tried this. Maybe it has additional features. Yeah. But if you're talking about getting a development cluster, Civo gets my vote. It's extremely cheap. It's extremely fast and all this stuff.
Yeah, I just going through this and looking at the pricing here. I'll just go back over here so I'm not losing my beep anymore here. I'm going to stop that and go back and reshare this window here. So if we add that back in, so managed dev clusters are made available from Lens Desktop through Linspaces for standalone. And you do a spaces switcher. That's cool. Port forwarding 2.0. I can't remember what that. I read through it last night and I don't remember what it was. So as much as I was like going over the top there, this isn't too bad. Especially since they had spaces available and it wasn't integrated with this yet. Now that it is, that's nice. I will give it that.
Yeah. I wasn't very positive towards Lens in the past, but they're grinding through it, kind of like they're becoming the de facto standard or choice for Kubernetes console type of thing.
Yeah.
Well done.
If you're going to reInvent next week, they are going to be there. There's no way I'm going to that.
Everybody's going to be there. Every
You
single
think?
company in the world is going to be there, of course.
Anyway, they got a virtual meetup on
You
December
cannot not be there.
Well, virtual meetup on December 7th. That might be interesting to attend. And then they're going to be doing KubeCon in Valencia. How far is Valencia from you? I don't know geography in Spain.
I don't know, probably like a couple of hours train ride. Maybe
Oh, okay.
45 minutes plane, something like that.
Yeah. So just far enough by plane that you don't want to go to the airport. Just for
I might drive. I'm not sure how far it is, but I might drive there as well.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So anyway, for the people from Lens, forgive me for going off on you. Just trying to make this a fun video to watch. In general, I like this. And what Victor said is correct. Y'all are cranking through it. I think out of the ones that we've seen, this is the one that, what's the right word to say here? Most responsive to whatever. Most frequent might be another way to think about it. Most consistent.
Yeah.
So I was going to say the word winning, but that would be just too wide open. I think
The last sentence in that text is actually a correct one. I mean, you haven't checked the numbers, but it is the most popular IDE for Kubernetes.
350,000 users. We'll have to trust that, but 16,000 stars on GitHub. Yeah. So since we have a name here, Miska, thank you for writing this and allowing me to rail about it for a bit. Don't ask me for my credit card, though. That's not okay. Just let it go to 0. Start reminding me at 5 hours. If I get 40 hours free, then start reminding me when there's, or even 10 hours. Start reminding when there's 25% left. I'm okay with that. Just don't make me give you a credit card to begin with. That's okay. All right, Lens. And we're just talking about reInvent. AWS has started dripping out some news this week. Nothing that I would consider life-changing or earth-shattering. But I saw a couple of things that were interesting.
Those are reserved for next week.
That's next week. These are, but I think some of the things that you're seeing this week are foundational to the things that we're going to be seeing next week. In this first one, this is a place to where both Victor and I sort of live. I still live in it a lot. He lives in it somewhat. Is Proton, which is their, how do we say it? It's their basically continuous delivery solution. Or depending on if you listen to Corey Quinn or not, one of their 75 different continuous delivery solutions. My number's not his. But what they've added in, the template sync, this is the key part here to me. Being able to build your whole thing out from Git. Notice I'm not saying GitOps, and they're not saying GitOps, but it is coming in through Git.
Nice.
This is, I think, the key part for anyone providing tooling today, is it's got to be able to be hydrated from Git, or it should be able to be hydrated from Git. Maybe not day one, but it should be there. What do you think about that?
Oh, nice. I'm now interested to see what this is really.
Yeah.
And I see that, if you get started using template sync, you need to give AWS Proton permissions to access your repository. So it's quite possible that it is actually GitOps. We'll see.
It could.
But in any case, it's good.
Yeah, and they haven't. Again, I did not see in any of the reading to where they used the GitOps word, which is a very touchy word for me. But what's interesting here to me is you can either select GitHub or GitHub Enterprise.
Why is that?
Where's code commit?
Strange.
No. Where's code commit?
I mean, even AWS
Where's their
doesn't
tool?
believe in code commit. Come on. Kind of like, they have hundreds of services and they're
Yeah.
not on the same level at all. I mean,
Yeah.
AWS is quite aware that code commit just exists.
Yeah, and that's fine. And they also are supporting Terraform now, which this is the Git one is more interesting to me than the Terraform one, but the Terraform one is also interesting. I haven't looked through it enough yet to really understand it because I was more focused on the other side. But it looks like it's just leveraging workflow. You give it it's a workflow that you're using from GitHub Actions. Really interesting. Or are they leveraging the definition of where actions is? I said they talk about actions here. Again, I didn't spend as much time on this as I did on the other.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to use that directory because for other things, because then it would conflict with GitHub Actions themselves, and who knows what would happen, right?
Well, as long as they don't break that contract, right? So if they're using the same file that's in Actions, that it's also able to feed data. Think of it as read-only, for lack of a better term, into AWS. Maybe. I mean, why would I need to redefine a new file if all I need is just the same data that's over there? I don't know. It looks interesting though, and again, same rules apply. Just GitHub and GitHub Enterprise Server. So those two are pretty cool, and the availability on that was this was the thing. Terraform was in public preview mode, and then the other one for Git is already in US East and all the big normals. And really, you couldn't make the Terraform announcement until you made this big announcement up top first, template sync, because that's, I'm assuming, what it's based off of. So
I hope that will also mean that AWS will be investing more in Terraform, because if you look at Terraform modules for AWS, most of contributors are not really from AWS, unlike Terraform modules for Azure and Google, where actually Azure and Google are contributing heavily.
Yeah, and if you didn't catch this, Victor, I don't know if you saw it or not, Proton is a fully managed application delivery service for containers and serverless applications. That's what Proton is. Sounds to be right up your alley.
One more thing on the never-ending to-do list.
Correct. Okay. The other item that I saw, and again, there are many items that came out this week, but then this one was interesting to me. They've expanded the free tier. 100 gig from regions and a terabyte from CloudFront per month. Previously, the numbers were much lower, meaning it used to be 1 gig per region, now it's 100 gig per region. And CloudFront used to be 50 gig, and now it's a terabyte. We're talking 100x here and 20x here. I think they're getting scared of Cloudflare. Not really scared, but...
I mean, not scared that Cloudflare will destroy AWS, but I can guarantee you that last month passed with some heavy meetings in AWS, and we are going to see some announcements around that topic for sure. The AWS cannot leave Cloudflare challenging it unanswered. It's not going to happen.
I know, and it also goes to here. We're also they didn't call this out here. We're raising the number of free requests from 2 million to 10 million, so 5x, and removing the 12-month limit on 2 million free. But it doesn't. It doesn't apply to data transfer in CloudFront POPs in China. Not going to go there. I'm just not going to go there. All starts on December 1st. It's all free tier. We're in any of the 21 regions. Holy cow. 69 AZs. That's amazing. 300 POPs. Okay, look at this. Look at this. 100 gig metro fiber linked via transoceanic cables across, you name it, seas.
Yeah, I mean, AWS is a huge monster. Kind of, they're bigger than anything else. Even when I say that Azure is coming close to AWS, that's not close enough yet. There is a huge difference between what they do and the rest.
it's amazing to me. This is just the sheer numbers here and distances and how they're doing it. It's amazing. As much as like we like poking fun at everybody, this is amazing. Got to give them their props. So I'm really looking forward to next week's announcements. Do you have people going?
Yeah, I have people going.
Okay. And I have people going too. I'm not one of those people.
I don't think that we are presenting or anything like that,
Yeah.
but we are going,
Yeah.
That's what I really meant, that every company is going to be there. Not necessarily every company is going to have a booth there, but at least one person from every single company is going to be in Vegas next week.
And my heart does not hurt for not going to Vegas. Especially, so here's the thing. This is happening the week after Thanksgiving in the States. Today is Friday. Sunday is going to be a crazy travel day. And that would be the day you would have to travel to try to get to Vegas. No, thank you.
But that tells you everything you need to know about the size of AWS. No other company in the world could pull an event week after Thanksgiving and just shortly before the Christmas and other holidays are starting. Only AWS can convince everybody to come that week. Nobody else.
And that's why it's usually the last big one of the year, and for my opinion, right? I can't think of anything else that's big.
No, that's it.
Well, nothing's
They're
AWS
closing
scale.
the season, the year.
Yeah. I went to the first 3 physical AWS conferences. They were great. The first one was only like 5,000 people there. It was wonderful.
That's the
Now,
only one I haven't been yet. I have to go.
you've never been to
next year.
re:Invent?
No.
You need to bring
I
a
have to go
skateboard
so
with you.
that I have hands-on reason for not coming again.
If you go to Vegas, I'd probably try to meet you in Vegas. Oh, I dislike Vegas with every bone in my body, and probably your bones in your body too. It's just Vegas is not my favorite place. It's a pretty good airport, but not my favorite place. I always measure things by the airports, I think. So next week, to me, and even Sunday is going to be chaos from that point. And now there is a Chaos Carnival in 2022. Are you going to go to the Chaos Carnival? Would you put up with that?
Where is it?
It's online.
Okay. Then, to be honest, I'm not very fond of online conferences. I want those things to go away, to be honest. I want the world to go back to a stable state and then in-person conferences. If I'm going to watch something on my screen, I'm going to choose the time and date when I'm going to watch it, and that's probably going to be recording on YouTube or something like that, not a conference.
Yeah, you live in a different
That's my person
multiverse.
who actually, yeah, but you're not. I don't like online conferences, even though actually I speak at least one conference every week.
Yep. So if you're interested in submitting a talk to them, the CFPs are still open. I've been thinking about trying to do something, but my head is in all sorts of different places. But two keynotes from 2 of our friends,
Oh,
from Miko and from Uma. Yeah.
Nice.
I should have looked up to see which episodes they were on. But you can go back through. So Miko is the maintainer of... what is it?
The Chaos Toolkit?
No. That was Russ and... That was Russ and Sylvan.
Exactly. Is this? I'm gonna name all the tools I know, and you tell me which one it is. Litmus.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. So Uma was... Oh, help me. How many times have I done this? Too many times.
I have no idea.
Uma is from OpenEBS, which was Maya Data, which is Litmus Chaos. That was...
Litmus. That's the one I said.
No, Litmus is Uma. Miko is what I can't remember.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Miko,
okay.
I remember it's the Bloomberg one. And I'm looking up now in my notes. He is from... That was episode 61. So Miko was on 61. And his was, he wrote the Manning book, Chaos Engineering. Powerful Seal. That's his, Powerful Seal.
And there we go. Not big of a friends when you say friends of ours if you don't know where they work. Or that's a testimony to us being old and not remembering things in general.
Episode 61, that was 70, more than halfway behind where we've been. And yeah, sorry. Anyway, yes, they're friends. They're friends of the family, if you will. They're like the distant cousins, right? We see them every once in a while, every third or fourth year. But a very long, in fact, Russ is teaching, going to be speaking there. Russ was the one from, we just said it, Chaos Toolkit. And I'm going to have to shut this one down because this one is killing my CPU right now. So, Chaos Carnival, check it out. It's just spinning there. Okay, here, let's go here. If I had an M1, this would not be a problem. JSONL Graph. This is the only tool I found this week. But I thought it was interesting. 2021 Winter Holidays release. Now, okay, I'm not even getting down to here yet. Bug fix. Fix bug for bool value. That's a that seems like Simver at its finest, right? No, I know it's not. And you don't have to do Simver there. JSONL Graph. So you use it with JQ. So you can do your install, whatever. What's it about? So Node has an ID and Edge has a from and a to. Whatever. So here's what it is you can take your kubectl, get pods. You're used to doing that a lot, right?
A lot.
Okay. So send it out to JSON. Then pipe it to JQ, querying out items with the to and the from. And then you pass it into JSONL Graph, and then you can pipe it to dot to generate the SVG, so you get this.
Okay, that's nice.
So this is doing the graph whatever. I'm looking for the words and I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
It's generating the dependency graph. That's what I'm trying to say. Have you ever seen dot? This is one I haven't seen until I looked this up the other day. You have? Okay.
Yeah, I used it a while ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It basically uses some standard format SVG or something to generate graphs.
Yeah. So this one is really hard to see. Can I take that full screen? Yes, I can. Sort of. Why does that? Oh. I mean, it can generate this even. Whoa, that's too much.
I mean, look, if you send me a graph like that, I will never speak to you again.
It looks like an ERD, doesn't it?
The solution, but kind of like I don't want to go through that. Kind of whatever it is, just too much of it.
Yeah, it looks like an ERD, some sort of either database diagram or all the other things. So here's another way. That one's not too bad.
Yeah, that my brain can understand that, can digest that fine. The first one is something that makes architects proud and hope for promotions.
That's what gets put into your Visio diagram? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
This is that, and then this one gets really bad. Again, nothing against the tooling. Tooling's only dealing with the data that's given, but that's just miserable. Currently only GraphViz is supported, but yes.
That's kind of the thing. I'm looking for tools. I think that's one of the problems we have with Kubernetes is that I'm not anymore looking for tools that will allow me to do graphs or that. I'm really now into the mode of looking for tools that will allow me to distinguish garbage from the things that matter. Because in Kubernetes, there is a lot of garbage. I mean, not garbage, very useful things for Kubernetes, not useful for me at all. So I'm looking for a bit more intelligence than that. Kind of tell me what matters.
Yeah. We go back here to what Jivan said. The last reInvent was 70,000 people. It's insane. I mean, when I went there, it was only in the Venetian.
I want to go to reInvent only so that I can meet the people I want to meet, not because of reInvent. Yeah. Kind of like simply, if everybody's going to be there, then kind of that's my opportunity to meet like 10 people that I want to meet.
Yeah.
and ignore the rest of 69,990 people over there.
I'm going to address this day job question. RedSeb99. I did not get a certification. The only reason I did not get any of the certifications is I knew the questions and the answers because I was one of the maintainers for the exam.
Yeah, I
So
was actually writing
ethically,
for the first one.
yeah, ethically, I could not take the certification. I just couldn't. So that's the reason why. The short answer is no, I didn't get a certification. Second is I knew the answers and the questions. So
But
I
I think that this also, when we were talking about Kyverno, you said something about your pro certifications, but maybe Kyverno still does not have the critical mass for something like that.
Yeah.
Jenkins is very different. Jenkins
Yes.
has a critical mass. Jenkins is something that you're asked for in job descriptions.
Yes.
Right? So that makes a lot of sense. Nobody is going to ask you, are you experienced with Kyverno? I mean, Kyverno is a great tool. I love Kyverno, right? But did not reach that level yet.
Yep. Another comment here from RedSed is Doxygen uses DOT to generate more or less useful graphs like that. I've never looked at DOT. In fact, I'm going to write that down. Okay, it's written down now. Because
is that the
I'm
notebook that
through
you
some-
never consult afterwards, only for writing, never
No.
for reading?
No, it's my day planner. It's my day planner. It's physically a day planner right there. Okay. There's nothing to see there anyway, other than I went to Bojangles to get biscuits today for breakfast. So had to write down the receipt because I was using Apple Pay for it. Okay. Enough rambling about that. Azure Container Apps. Is this ACI? I haven't even watched this video yet.
No, nothing to do with ACI. I call it like version 2 of Azure's attempt to make containers as a service. ACI is total crap. Just it's completely useless. If you need something like ACI, then go to, what was the name of the service we were talking about?
Render?
Render, for example, right? If you want something to simply deploy your apps, doesn't do much, but it's simple and it deploys your apps great. ACI is that, except that it has inherent complexities of Azure. This is different. This is something completely different. This is something that aims to become Azure's version of Google Cloud Run. And it has a potential to be better than Google Cloud Run. Potential. Right now, it's not exceptionally good, but right now it's preview, so I'm not judging it much. But it has a lot of potential. I see glimpses there of progressive delivery. It is using Dapper, which is great. It is using CADA for auto scaling, which is also great. They're on the right path. I think it's a great service. But it's potentially great service. That word, all the time I was looking at it, I couldn't get the word potentially from my head. So it's potentially great.
But it's in preview. And that's what you expect, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the decisions are good. The direction is really good. I like it.
Good. Okay. Then what else do we have going on? Why is this not working? There we go. What else do we have going on?
I don't know. I think that I'm doing my last conference for the year next week. And then towards things that people don't see, the normal work.
The normal work. Yep. We've got...
Ooh, that actually reminds me. So KubeCon China is at the same time as AWS reInvent.
Is it next week?
Strange. Yeah, it's next week, I think. Or maybe the week after next. I'm not sure. December 9th. No, that's after next.
It's week after. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so
the
2
end.
weeks from
the
now.
end of the next week. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been weird, because, okay. So I'm actually ahead. The podcasts are all edited. We actually have recorded all the podcasts through the end of the year and into the beginning of next year. That's all done. I just have to edit them now. And I'm trying to line up some guests. So if you have ideas for some guests, go over to the Slack workspace, which is crawling down below us there, and go over into the podcast channel. And any guest requests that you have, we have people sending us people. How do we say this politely? We have public relations people sending us people to
Crap.
to talk. Yeah, not all of it. Some of them have been good.
No,
right there.
not all.
We've
Some
had
are great.
yeah, some like one of the ones that we got was Joe Duffy. That
The Pulumi
we got
guy,
that-
right? Is that
yeah,
Joe?
the Bloom guy. Yeah,
Exactly.
So
That came from PR. That's great.
yeah, but that's rare. In fact, there was a funny one that I got this week. I wish I could show you, but so I got the email, and I think you sent me one. I haven't responded yet, but I got an email from somebody this week, and I was reading through it on my desktop, but then I looked at it on my phone, and the first paragraph was normal text. The second paragraph was a different font size for just that paragraph, and then the rest of it goes back to the first font page. So basically, it was copy-paste. They dropped in one paragraph, and off it went.
So it's by people who don't know how to press shift when copying and pasting.
Yeah. The other one that's funny, and I will say this for people that might be watching this, if you look at our RSS feed for the podcast, it has my email address in it. My email address as the owner of the podcast feed. It is not my day job email address. I'm talking to about 5 different PR people right now. I get email requests. It's like, hey, we'd love to have these people come on your podcast. I see that, or I see a rough heading of that in the subject line. It goes straight. I don't even open it up if I can figure out what it is. I just delete it. It's like, if you can't even figure out what the real one is and you're sending it to my day job, nope. It's just off the list, period. Even if it's the greatest person ever. Sorry. Again, there's ethics that I'm bound to, and that's not going to be one of them. That is just, I'm not going to cross that line. I guess that's it. I've had too much sugar over the past day. I've had so much sugar that I'm like, right now. But it's been really good.
Water you drink normally?
No, I have my fizzy water. Yes, I have my fizzy water. But the sugar, like I had peanut butter pie last night from a bakery that one of our friends owns. And it's like you take the bite. Have you ever had pie that you just eat it and you take that first bite and it's just like you're transported to somewhere that you never knew existed?
Yeah, I love pies. Pies are to me kind of like I can have 2 bites of a normal pie and that's kind of like
You're done.
that's it. I'm done. And if you put peanuts on that might be overwhelming for me. Probably extremely tasty. But it's,
it's
there are those
extremely
sweets that I really, really like, but a couple of bites and...
If my body would allow me, that's all I would eat. That's a bad thing. But fortunately, I like other foods too. All right. People are starting to peace out, so why don't we do the same? We will be back next week, same time. Well, we won't be the same place. It'll be a different place, but still in the same channel. It won't be the same URL because YouTube. And, I think I lost Victor. Nope, he's still there. Okay. You froze for a second, but I think that was
I don't
you.
know.
No, I think it was just
It
you
was me
being very
not
still.
moving.
It was you not moving. I could tell. Okay.
That
All right.
was... No? Okay.
Okay is right. Thanks everybody for showing up. For all the people going through this last part, we are so sorry. And we will talk to you again. Subscribe, do the likes, do all the things, do all the YouTube things, and we'll talk to you again next week. Thanks.
Cheers.